Hello dears, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel I share sewing tutorials and tips that you will like, so please consider subscribing. In today's tutorial I'm going to be sharing with you how you can sew this kimono jacket with a drawstring on the shoulder and a palazzo trouser with an elastic waistband. In the previous tutorial that I posted, I shared with you how you can cut this kimono jacket and trouser, and in today's tutorial I'm sharing with you how you can put it together to create this beautiful looking masterpiece. So if you haven't subscribed to my channels, guys, please consider subscribing. And if you've always been a subscriber, thank you so much. It is the encouragement that you've given me that it's making me do more and more of this. I really appreciate that. And if you're just joining us for the first time, you are welcome to the family. You can style this kimono in different ways with the drawstring on it, or you can let loose the drawstring and just wear it with the ropes flapping around. It's also a design. Or you can go ahead and just maybe knot this kimono even without the drawstring. There are just so many ways you can style it. And I'd also like to let you know that you can actually just use the trouser to wear something else like a top, or use the jacket to wear something else. You have so many options with this wear. This dress is super chic, and it's not something even a beginner can make. This dress is a dress that is so simple that a beginner can even make it, and the tutorial is super simple. So first of all, we're going to start with the sewing of the trouser. So here is the trouser part of this tutorial, and that's what we're starting with. So this is the front, is in 2 pieces, and of course the back is also 2 pieces. So here is the pocket. We have 4 pieces of this pocket, 4 pieces of it, and then an elastic band. I'm using a 1-inch elastic band. Very important, you need this for this tutorial. So first off, we're going to start by closing up the front area of the trouser. So we're going to be joining the 2 fronts together using half inch. All right, guys, so you can see me marking that. Same thing I'm going to still do for the back. Here is the back, so I'm going to be using 1/2 inch, and I will just, like I'm marking it, that's how I'm going to sew it all the way onto the crotch area. So after doing that, the next thing is for me to just pin this down. And after I pinned it down, before I took it to the sewing machine to sew, I had to put the pocket first. So I opened this up with the right side of your fabric facing up. Okay, then you're now going to begin to put your pocket, add your pocket to this, and from the waist you are going to be measuring 1 inch downwards, and then you can begin from there to affix your pocket. So I'm going to put down the pocket and I will go ahead and pin it. All right, so 1 inch downwards. So once I do that, I went ahead to do the same thing on the other side of the pocket. I'm doing the back first. On the other side of the pocket, I'm doing the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I'm pinning that down also 1 inch down. So I brought the front and I still did the same thing. Put my pockets. I'm making sure that I place this, I open this up, and the right side of my fabric is facing up. Then I went ahead to now put the pockets coming down 1 inch from the waistline. All right, so once I was done doing that, I went ahead to sew it together. You can see I've sewn it together here. And I also went ahead to sew the 2 trousers together on around the under thigh. Yeah, I sewed the 2 trousers together around the under thigh, as you can see in this video, and I made sure that the 2 center lines for the front and the back actually aligned. Can you see? So I've gone ahead to do that. So the next thing that I'm going to do now is to just close this trouser up. Like I told you, this is super simple. This tutorial is super simple. So I'm going ahead to align this so that I can pin this from the waist all the way down to the hem. Okay, and once I do that, I will now go ahead and insert 1 inch all over for this for this trouser, like to close up the sides. You don't need more than that. You can even use half inch if you want, but for me, I want to use 1 inch because I ended up adding like 1.5 for the side. So I'm closing that up. But what I'm going to do, I'm not just going to close all the way straight. I'm going to close from the waist. I'm going to close up to like half inch down, or half inch down where the pocket is, and then I'm going to just sew. You can see the way I'm going to mark it. That's the way I'm going to sew. So I sew from there, and then I'm going to just connect it this way using half of an inch all the way around through the pocket to the other side. Then I am going to open up, measure from the point, the first point there, and to 6 inches. So that 6 inches is going to be my pocket opening, right? Yeah, 6 inches is best used because it can enter no matter how big the person's the person's finger is actually going to pass through. So I am going ahead to mark the same thing on the other side of the pocket, and I will go ahead and just sew this. All right, so here I've sewn it. You can see what it looks like. I've sewn it. I'm going to turn it over so that you see what the pocket looks like. So this is our pocket, and it is ready. So the next step for this trouser, which is more almost like the last step, is for us to add the band. And on the back side, you're going to be opening up a little bit on the back side, and then this is the band that we cut earlier, which you're going to be folding into two. Remember that this band is a 4 inch in width, and like I said, I just did my length as long as I could. If you want, at this point that you're done, you can just go ahead and measure what you have on your waistline round, and then cut a band that is as long as that, you get. So I'm going ahead to pin it, and I will just take this to my sewing machine, and I will sew this all the way around until I get to the other side of my waist. This tutorial is just super simple, I'm telling you guys. So I've gone ahead to sew it now, and I went ahead to also serger all the inside, like I weaved it. So here I'm going to cut out this excess, and the moment I do that, I am now going to insert my elastic band. So like I said, I'm working with a 1 inch in width elastic, so we'll do some calculation for the elastic because it draws, so you cannot, because an elastic stretches, you get, so you can't use the exact waist for it. So my waist is 27 inches, so 27 minus 6 inches, I'm taking out 6 inches from my waist. I have 21 inches, so 21 inches is what I'm going to be using to as my elastic band. All right, but then guys, after I did that, like, when I wanted to I ended up adding like an extra 1 inch. You can see I ended up like adding like an extra 1 inch to this band because I'm going to close up the back side. So I didn't want this elastic to be too tight. So you can see I ended up using 22 inches so that by the time I close up the back again, after I add this elastic, I'm not going to have this elastic too tight on me. But if you want yours too tight, there's no problem. You bring your safety pin and you pass it through one side of the elastic, and you're going to go ahead and pass this elastic from one opening of from your back to, and all the way out through the other opening. Do you get? So I'm just passing. I used a 1 inch elastic because I feel it's better because it gives that band look already. Do you get? So I've gotten to the very end of it, and I'm pinning this down. So once I do that, I will just go ahead and sew the two sides and then close up the back. Okay, and after doing that, I will hem it down, and that will be it for the trouser. So you can see what it is like. It's so simple to make. There's really nothing much about this. Very simple. So this is what it looks like. I'll go and hem it down, and that's it. So we'll focus on making the jacket part of this wear. So here, this is the jacket part of it, the kimono jacket. So I placed this, I opened it with the right side of your fabric facing up also, and then the right side of the front fabric facing down. So it's more like right side of fabric is facing right side of front fabric is facing right side of back fabric. Do you understand? So I'm going ahead to pin this on the shoulder so that it can enable me sew it. So the next thing I did after I pinned this was that on that shoulder I marked 1 inch. I used 1 inch for my shoulder, like joining my shoulder together. You know, normally when you're joining your shoulders, you will use half, but I used 1 inch because you know we're going to be passing a rope to create the drawstring. Okay, so that's why I'm using 1 inch to actually close up the shoulder. So I'm using 1 inch to close up the shoulder, as you can see, and I will go ahead to sew it. But when you're sewing, please don't sew all the way till the very end of the hem area. Can you see? I opened up a bit so that I went ahead to now fold the hem of that sleeve area. I folded the hem, and then I will go ahead and finish off the closing. Okay, I took it to my sewing machine and I finished off the closing. So here I have done that. Then I'm going to open this and I will sew from there. I'm just going to mark wherever you think you want this to, the drawstring to end, and I'll just, sew. So here is the string that I'm actually going to use, the rope I'm going to use to create the string. So I'm working with a 2 inches in width and a 35 inches in length. So if you want yours longer, that's absolutely fine. But I think for the width, 2 inches is perfectly okay. So after doing that, I'm going to close up one side of this rope that I want to use. So this is what I'm going to do. Just watch. So I folded first. That's to conceal the rough edges, and I folded the right side inwards, folded the left side inwards. The two sides now are meeting on the center, and then I'm going to fold it again. Okay, so I fold it again, and I will just take to my sewing machine and I will continue sewing it that way until the other end. I'm just concealing one side. So you can see this is the shoulder. I've gone ahead to sew, and I stopped at the point where I marked my line. I sewed the other side also. You'll see we now have an opening, like a hole. Okay, we have like a hole there that we're going to pass that rope through. So I'm going to bring my rope now. Now you can see that I've come up with, and one side I've concealed one side, and one side there's a rough edge on one side. So the part where you have a rough edge is actually going to be inside. So you will use your safety pin and put on the side that you have the rough edge. Okay, yeah, your safety pin on the part you have the rough edge, and you're going to pass this through that opening that you have created until the very end of it. Okay, so I'm going to continue to do this until I get to the very end of it, and I will exceed it. I will let the rope exceed that point that I've sewn a little bit, so that I have like an allowance to kind of stitch off when I am stitching this. Okay, this is not hard at all. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do that, please. So before I took out my safety pin, I just used my pin to hold this down. I held it down, and then I passed my rope on the other side of my opening. Okay, I passed my rope on the other side of my opening. Remember, the part that you sealed up is going to be on the outer part. So you can see where I'm putting my safety pin is usually the rough part. So guys, please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for being here. If you always come back to watch my videos, I really appreciate that. Please continue to do that, as that helps me to do more of these things. You can also suggest to me some of the topics that you want me to do, and I will try my best to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead to my sewing machine and I'll close this side off. Now can you see? I will sew that part. So once I sew that part, then I will drawstring on the shoulder. It's ready. Oh my goodness, like I'm super excited for this tutorial because it is so easy. When I mean easy, I mean like easy. So I've sewn it. You can see, you can just drag it as much as you want. You can drag, you can release it, drag, release, yeah. There's nothing obstructing you, there's nothing holding it anywhere. Just drag and release as much as you want. So here I'm going ahead to just knot it, like a very fanciful knot. You get? So what I have done here, I will go ahead and do on the other side of my shoulder. And after doing that, next thing to do is just to close this off. Okay, guys? So next thing to just do is I aligned the two sides, like put them together, and then I went ahead to sew it using I think, yeah, 1 inch, using 1 inch to sew. If it's half inch you added when you were drafting, you go ahead and use half inch, but I added 1 inch, so that's what I'm using to close all the way until the down. And I'm going to close off the two sides, so you can see this is my drawstring on one side of the sleeve. On the other side of the sleeve, I'm also gonna head to do the same thing I did, the exact same thing I did on this side, you can see. And I've closed it. Can you see? I've closed it on the side. And hula, guys, that's how simple this is. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing now is on the center front, I have to close it up, like I have to like hem it. So either you hem this way and all the way around, just hem all the way around, or you can just use your bias strip to sew all the way around so that you can finish it off. All right, so for me, I chose to use a bias strip to finish off mine. If you don't have a bias strip, you can just sew like I just showed you. So this is what it looks like. And next I just went ahead to hem the down part, and we have our jacket ready. Can you see the beauty that we just created? Very simple. Like sewing this is not even, it doesn't even take more than 1 hour to do it. It actually took me more time because, you know, I was filming, explaining, and all what have you. So this is what it looks like. You can draw the string, you can release the string, whatever, however you want. And guys, this is super classic and chic. You can actually wear this to, like the jacket, you can wear it with like a short to the beach, or for a girls hangout, evening stroll, whatever. Hello. So thank you so much, guys, for watching my video. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. Please, like I said, if you have any topics that you want me to just film, you can go ahead and suggest that, and I will do my best to film that and post on the channel. Okay, thank you guys for being here. I'm going to see you guys in my next one. Bye bye, guys.